All right, we're here. We be
Where?
here. We're
Where?
here. We're here.
There's nobody for me to touch.
Got my Monte Cristo special, no, classic series.
Feel that?
What am I feeling?
That was a big. Let's try it again.
Oh, wrong side. You're actually on the side that you're supposed to be. That's funny.
Wait a minute. And so are you. That's weird. Man.
It's funny how I set that up, isn't it? All right, 60 seconds.
Good. Abnormal realities right here live from your mother's basement.
I keep banging my cigar into the microphone. That's what she said.
Why you do that,
Okay.
bro? You know what I'm saying? There's so much I could have said right there, but I didn't. You know, you should be really freaking proud of me.
But I didn't.
But I didn't.
All right,
Yes,
everybody,
there it
hang
is.
on. We're back.
Whoa.
You ready?
Dude, I am. Dude,
All right,
my
here we go.
face is ready.
All right, let's do
You know, how
this.
you doing, everybody? How you guys doing?
How you doing?
You know?
24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Journey into the matrix of the mind. Stretch your imagination and challenge reality. Abnormal realities are beacons for the imagination. What society deems abnormal may be more real than we think. This is Abnormal Realities with your hosts, Ron Phillips and Rocky Stucci.
You know, this is really weird. Oh, wait, what?
What?
Okay,
We're
I'm waiting
we're
for the
back.
point.
Oh,
Ladies
sorry.
and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hey, you know, first I just would like to say, you know, first of all, I'd like to welcome everybody. You know, how you guys doing, huh? Don't worry about it. How you doing? Welcome to the program. This is, you know, freaking abnormal.
How you doing?
Well, you know.
Oh, I just can't
You know,
pull
you
it
just
off
gotta
like you
grab
can.
Hey, you know, so I'm talking to this guy at work, you know, and you know, he's a hardcore 100% redneck. Dude has a mullet. He's looking real good, has curlies in it and everything, you know, and then he wears his pearl button flannel shirts with cut off sleeves, right?
Yeah.
Looking good. He's looking real good. And he's a super Texan, right? And so, you know, he likes to come and try to talk a little Italian, and it's okay, you know, it's okay, but it ain't working. But I'm trying to tell him. So when you talk and you're trying to pull the point in, you know, it's like with your middle finger and your thumb. Little lesson for everybody. You know, you pinch your middle finger and your thumb, you reach out and you grab the person's soul. You twist it upside down and you pull it right back to you, you know? So when you're talking, you say, you know, you understand what I mean? Come on, give me some of that. What?
You understand what
You
I
know?
mean? Come on. That
You know what
was
I'm talking
Texan.
about, bro?
Come on. Come on.
Whoa. What was that, y'all? You understand what I mean, y'all?
Welcome to the show,
You
everybody.
understand what I mean,
This is
y'all?
our Halloween costume. It ain't much, but it is what it is. I asked Rocky, I said, "Are you going to wear a costume tonight?" And he's like, "I don't have a costume, but I can wear my fedora." And Rocky's fedora, I tell you, cost more than mine. I promise.
Well, I didn't pay for mine.
Well, but if you had paid for it,
By the
it would
way,
have cost.
I might as well. Penman Hats, penmanhats.com right here.
Penman
John
hats,
Penman.
Yeah. Yep, that's a nice hat.
Firefighter. Dude, hand makes all these hats. I just want to say, yo, how you doing? You know, bring it in, you know.
No, it's a good looking hat. It really is.
Well, so is yours. You kind of got like the Billy the Kid thing going,
It's,
you know.
dude, yeah, I don't know what brand it is. I see, Country Gentleman. Hey, whatever
that's
works.
kind of boring.
Water repellent, gentle felt. Not very expensive, but it works.
It sounds kind of boring.
Got to
really.
wear it like my grandfather wore his hat, tilted to the side a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, oh, well, you know, that's the thing. And there's a way you got to put it on too, I guess, you know, and then you have it tilted.
Yeah.
You got to bring it down a little
tilted
bit.
to
Then
the
you got
side
to
a
snap
little
the
bit.
arm.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in the 1950s. everybody wore hats in the 50s, didn't they?
Just like this. This was a normal thing.
Yeah.
My grandpa used to wear one.
But
all
they
my
wore
uncles
suits
always
every day
had one.
too.
And, you know, when they just wanted to relax, they wore suit pants and T-shirts, you know, and that was
That's
it.
what it
Because
was.
sometimes it got hot outside, you know, and grandma
Yep.
making some spaghetti inside, you know. It's just the way we did stuff. You know, don't worry about it.
Did the mafia smoke cigars?
Really?
That was a dumb question. Sorry. Okay.
Okay.
I'll lay mine down
So-
for a second.
Ron, folks,
Sorry.
did the mafia smoke cigars, bro? I mean, do you poop in the morning sitting on the bidet? You know.
I do. Thank
All
you.
right, hey. By the way, a big shout out to everybody over there in the chat rooms because I know Abnormal Realities, man. We're kind of all over the place, right? So I just want to say happy Halloween to everybody, you know. Why am I keep doing this with my collar? You know, I just keep touching things. I don't want to
That's a
stop
good question.
touching
I
it.
don't know why.
It's in my part of my costume. It's part of the act. You know, it's theatrical. Man, we love you guys. Happy Halloween. This is about all of the imagination Phillips and I have. Phillips messaged me today. He says, dude, what are you going to be? I says, really? I forgot. We got to dress up.
I started saying it's not like we didn't talk about that.
Yeah, I know. We had a whole week. We had 2 weeks, really.
did,
But
yeah.
I wasn't prepared. So I says, hey, I have a fedora and a suit. Let's do Mafia, bro. It's easy.
We can
It's
do
what
that.
we do anyway.
I'm good with that. I am actually. I'm feeling a little emboldened tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, you know what I like about your hat, though, man? There's something about. All right. Can I be honest with you, bro? Super honest with you?
Yeah.
All right. So there was a time, you know, when I was really into the past life stuff, I thought there was like, because I had almost a minor obsession with Billy the Kid, not like with him, but maybe it was his rebellionism. Maybe it was his, I'm not saying the bad things he did is what I glorified. It was just, sometimes society's not right. And sometimes I'm not even saying he was a Robin Hood because he wasn't a Robin Hood, but I don't know. There's just always something about Billy the Kid. I just kind of be like, you know, that would probably be me. I'm just saying. I just couldn't, you know, I would still go to church, but, you know, during the week, I'll probably knock off a couple banks, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Billy the Kid. I think, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere, I mean, the guy who claimed to have been Billy the Kid was somewhere around here. I can't remember. I think it was a little town called Hyco near here. Yeah, is where he's buried.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you believe that Billy the Kid was killed, or do you believe that this dude, because I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think I remember he was interviewed, right? There was an interview
so.
with him
Yep.
somewhere.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm just going to, if I remember correctly, it was kind of a freaking compelling interview. If I remember it correctly, that's all I'm saying.
Let's
Do you believe
see.
him? Do you believe him?
Ollie Roberts. He attracted attention in the 1940s and the 1950s by claiming to be Western outlaw William H. Bonney, also known as Billy the Kid, who actually died in 1881.
1881.
Yeah.
Well,
Brushy Bill Roberts. That was that's what he went by. Brushy Bill Roberts.
you know, a lot of parts of his interview, though, there was a lot of correlations that aligned with things, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of believe Brushy.
Oh, there
you know,
it
I
is.
just said,
It says-
Brushy, maybe you are Billy. Whoa,
Yeah.
stay down.
It said at the time of his death, Brushy Bill lived on West 2nd Street in Hyco, Texas. So pretty interesting.
So I'm going to tell everybody else something much more interesting than this. You ready, Phillips?
Yeah, hit me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I would just like to let every single one of you know what happened to the meatball today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Texas. I get a call from Brother Ron Phillips.
Yep.
And Brother Ron Phillips was trying to tell me about this new program that he's wanting. Well, first it started out says, "Yo, hey meatball, you got Netflix?" I says, "No, but I can make arrangements. You know, I know people. If I need to get Netflix, I'll take care of it. You know." And so he tells me about this new type of documentary, and Ron will explain it all. But here's the part I want to point out really quick, everybody, because it was just recent. Bro, why am I all big on the screen, bro?
Hey, man, that's because I've got that little tool over here now. I can do that.
You didn't prepare me before the show like you do with all the other people.
I'm sorry. What? That you were going to be big on the screen? You were saying you were saying something important. I wanted to make sure everybody was listening to you.
Well, I just didn't think to see my nose all up close like that all of a sudden. You know, I
Is
wasn't
that an
prepared for it.
Italian thing that you keep dicking with your jacket? What is it? You're like, oh.
What are you talking about? You know?
Okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So Ron gets a hold of me, and so we were recently talking on the program, probably last week's show. And if all of you remember, Ron made the statement that he has never gotten the chills. He has never gotten them. Even in the Hill House, he has never gotten the chills.
That's exactly
Ron
right.
Sends me a message today. You know what I'm saying?
I did send him
And
a
he said
message.
he got the chills. He got the chills because he was watching a show. So, brother, okay, Ron, for real now, I am super curious because I have to see it now because you have me completely intrigued. If you got the chills, I'm probably going to throw up. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yep. So you want me to go through kind of explain it?
Take it.
All right. So it's a new series, and it's a short series, limited series on Netflix. And it's called, if you haven't seen it already, it's called 28 Days Haunted. And there's a reason that it's called 28 Days. So it's put on by, if you know the name, and I mentioned it to Rocky, and he knows Tony. His name is Tony Spera. He was the son-in-law to the great Ed and Lorraine Warren, who were supposedly the most famous paranormal investigators in history. What are your thoughts about that, Rocky? Do you know Ed and Lorraine? Have you had any dealings with stuff that they've done before?
So I can go down both aisles on that one. They are pivotal players in the paranormal field. But here's a perfect example. There's those three black guys, paranormal show. I can't remember, the Ghost Brothers. That's what they go by, the Ghost Brothers.
Okay.
And they literally were at the Conjuring House, and they were talking to Andrea Perrin, and she was one of the people who lived there when she was a kid. Is when all this really, really bad stuff happened in the home.
That's correct. Yeah.
And you know, she even made some comments on the show that how things were portrayed on the movie were not even remotely true to how it really happened.
Correct. Yeah.
And to my understanding is that the story that we heard from Ed and Lorraine was way different than what, you know, so everything became Hollywood. And I heard the same thing about the Axe Murder House.
Yeah.
Where I talked to these professors from universities, very prestigious universities, and they were there with one of the most renowned psychics in the world for 7 days. And they got nothing in the house. And the only time the house became haunted was when Ed and Lorraine showed up. So all I'm saying is that, you know what, they were pivotal players because they brought the paranormal research to the forefront.
Correct.
But
And
there's
that's
also a lot of controversy within a lot of things that they've done.
correct. And they don't go into that in this series at all. Of course, it's based around a 28-day investigative cycle that Ed and Lorraine felt was what was occurring. And I'll tell you why in just a second. But they never were able to prove it. But you're right in that, you know, they did 10,000 plus investigations in their lifetime, and a lot of movies were based off of their investigations. And I say based, I should have said loosely based, right? Like The Conjuring, Annabelle, Amityville Horror, and all of those things like that. But based on what you're saying is Ed and Lorraine sensationalized it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I could sensationalize the Fernhill House.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
could really, make that come out to be something way different, and still there'd be a lot of truth to the story. I just exaggerated the physicality of it. You know what I'm talking about, Filipio?
I do. Well, so so Ed and Lorraine created this program, or this not a program. NESPR is what it was. They created NESPR, NESPR, which is the New England Society for Psychic Research. Now that was done in 1952, and when they passed on, their son-in-law Tony took it over, right? And so that's who is he basically was taking their 28-day cycle. Let's see what I have here about the 28 days.
So how many groups did you say there were? 4?
There were three.
Well, by the way, Ron,
Yeah,
I'm
there were
happy
three
to
groups.
announce something.
Yeah. You got your tooth fixed?
I'm no longer Rocky the crackhead.
Good for you, dude. I'm glad you got that done. That could, yeah, it looks like it's a great smile. Did you get all of them or just that one?
Just that one, bro.
It was right in the front, wasn't it?
Bro, I'm going to tell you, this dentist, man, he is the shizzle from another nizzle, you know?
Good.
And I gave him a big old hug. We did a picture together and everything, bro. I mean,
You do a picture with everybody, though.
I kind of do, bro, because we have fun, you know? I mean, all right. So how many groups?
So it was 3 groups, and the plan
Right.
was to put them in these haunted locations for no less than 28 days. And according to Ed and Lorraine and Tony, there was a 28-day cycle of investigation that took you from, entering the house, figuring out that the spirits don't want you there, communicating with the spirits, going through the problems and all of this other stuff, and then ultimately what they call piercing the veil between living and dead. And it wasn't until that last week that you were able to really understand what was going on and be able to pierce the veil and help the spirits cross over or whatever it is you're going to do, right?
Did you, do you think that, so they stayed there for the entirety of the time, right?
They stayed there, and I'm going to tell you they were completely sequestered. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to try not to give too much away about the series, but what I'm
Give
going
enough to wet our whistle, though, you know?
what I'm going to tell you doesn't give too much away. So they transported these.
Philip, let me ask you something. This is what I was going to ask. Do you think with the 28 days, you're kind of going through a full moon cycle too? So,
I didn't think about that, but you're right. Yeah.
So you could actually investigate and look at what moon cycle is that night. And then you could document moon cycle and see if there's a difference in the cycle of the moon because you're there for the entire cycle. It's just like, why not document that too?
Yeah. Yeah. They sent these 3 teams out to 3 different places across the U.S. One was Denver, Colorado. The other was Madison, North Carolina, and Preston, Connecticut. And I don't want to say what the places were they sent them to, but I will tell you they were good. When they transported these people, they transported them blindfolded. So they didn't know where they were going. They took their phones away from them. They didn't have internet access. They had computers, but they could only do their investigative work on those computers. They didn't have any access to the outside world, so to speak, except the production crew, of course, that was there, doing their thing. But they slept there. They ate there. They did everything there.
Right,
can you imagine doing that?
Specifically, I'm going to ask specifically. Everybody watching. I'm only watching the YouTube channel. That's where I'm watching. But I know we're out in other places. I won't see your answers. And Ron, I'm asking you too. We're talking a long time, dude. We are talking a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're talking a long time in a haunted place. And we know that there's been situations where people have gone into locations in a single night and have been completely depleted of energy.
Yep.
Now you are going in and you are being put into this haunted location. And now you are to formulate, so to speak, a relationship with what's there to be able to communicate. You're going through all the cycles of the transition to your communicational state. I totally get all that. Bro, you know what I'm more curious about? I'm more curious about what happened to the people after they left.
They don't go into that, but the very last second of the last episode, because I watched all 6 of them bees today. The very
Could
last
you do it?
I do what?
Could you do? Oh, that's what I was going to ask everybody. Could you do it? Could you do it, Ron?
No.
And I'm asking the listeners, could you do it? Could you seriously, even if it's for a TV show, if you want your 30 seconds of fame or whatever it is, could you go for a TV show to a location for 30 days in a haunted location and literally live like that for 30? It's easy to say yes, but I think it's probably going to be a lot harder.
We've seen some of the locations that they investigate on Destination Fear and things like that.
Yep.
But these were specifically chosen for their dark histories and increasingly aggressive hauntings over the years. And so,
Oh.
yeah, these three places, they had some backstories, and I don't want to go into the backstory. I want you to watch it.
Let me
But
ask you this without knowing the backstories.
Yeah.
This is asking you without knowing the backstories. When you say that it's an increasingly, the locations increased in its hauntings over time, is that what you were just saying?
increasingly aggressive hauntings. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think, okay, so what I'm going to just automatically assume is that these are spots that are somewhat on the paranormal map and maybe potentially have been investigated a whole bunch of times by a whole bunch of people, and we could have potentially have brought more energies in there and manifested it to be stronger and more powerful, maybe?
Entirely possible, Rocky, but when you find out what the places are specifically, I would guess, since they know the history of these places, that there have been investigations there before. They don't go into whether or not they've been investigated before.
Oh, by the way, folks, I want to report to everybody that Dr. Stucci did give Mr. Filippio his prostate exam the other day. Didn't use a glove, didn't need one. You know, he's pretty
I'm
clean.
clean. Yep.
Clean bill of health. He is.
Thank you.
Clean bill of health. Absolutely, bro.
Was that 2 fingers you used? I didn't realize it was 2 fingers.
Don't worry about it.
Felt like your whole effing fist. I'm just going to say.
You were good, bro. You were
Okay.
good. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Let's see. So basically what they were there for was to investigate the secrets that these locations held. And they, you know, the narrator, of course, talks about the secrets. But let's just say that these people did a really, really good job. If, honestly speaking, they didn't know what had happened in those locations before, they did a really good job. Each location had a psychic. They had paranormal investigators. One of them even had a tech and AV guy. But they all had a job to do, right? And I'm going to tell you, there was one of these locations, let's just say that very near possession occurred.
What, bro?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did it seem real to you, the possession?
A lot of it seemed real to me because.
What seemed real?
So how do I don't know how to say it without going into it very much.
Well, just go into it a little bit.
The actions taken to get to the point where this person, could have been possessed. They did a very good job of explaining how he got where he was at, and literally on the precipice of being possessed, and they explain how that happened. I'm trying real carefully to tiptoe through it, but
so is there a difference between the whole possession thing? That I don't disbelieve it. I absolutely believe it, 100%, without a doubt, no discussion, 100%. But I have a problem. You know, dude, sometimes I remember one time we went to this house. It was somewhere south of the cities in Minneapolis, and it was an old meth house. And that's where I saw for the first time a shadow figure, and like he was posturing at me.
Yeah.
But that is the type of location to where I think maybe people can confuse what could potentially they would believe to be a possession with maybe you are aligning with the energy that's there, and it puts you into an enraged state. Because when I saw that, I literally squared up, like it was a human being, dude.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we overuse
and
the whole
adrenaline. Yeah,
thing.
adrenaline will do that to you. Yeah.
So atmospheres can impact us. There's without a doubt. But I think us always using the possession thing. I'm not saying I didn't see what you saw, and what they're saying could be legit. I just sometimes, every time I watch Ghost Adventures, man, Zach Baggins is always getting freaking possessed.
When you get the opportunity to see this, I'll be curious to your feedback about it. Because look, it's Hollywood for all intents and purposes. It wasn't a documentary. This was, and it wasn't a game show, but it was just like all the other ghost paranormal investigation shows. But in this particular case, they had these 3 teams over a 4-week period, right? in this one location. So they investigated every night, and the investigations built. You could see the arc. You could see where they built and built and built, and they were gaining more information and more information every night they did investigations. They did it in a bunch of different ways, stuff you and I've used before, stuff we haven't used before, deprivation tanks, God helmets. I mean, just different things like that I had. I knew what a deprivation tank was. I did not know what a God helmet was. Do you know what that is?
Yes. Hold on. Now, is the God helmet the same thing as where they cover the eyes and the ears?
No, no, but they did a lot of Estes method stuff in these.
Okay.
You know what? There was one group that did it a lot, and it was very, very weird because I had never really even seen that done before. You've talked about it before.
What kind of methods?
Estes method.
That's where they do the spirit box.
Yeah, they do the spirit box and the headphones, and they're blindfolded.
So I've done that one time. Only one time I've ever done that.
Yeah.
And I should do it more. Wait a minute. Did we do it when we were at the Hill House?
We didn't, because I had only ever heard you talk about it. I've never seen it done before.
I did it with Travis one time, Travis Thorpe, and we did it at it was a treatment center. And I honestly, it was weird because sometimes you think you hear things and then you say what you think you hear, and then you realize that what you're splurting out 100% aligns with a lot of what they're asking. And it's just like, how did that work?
So in one of these episodes, well, in several episodes, this one group does it quite a bit, but in one of the episodes, they did two at the same time, sitting near each other.
Yep.
And the words that were flying out of their mouth that they were hearing on that spirit box, that's where I got my chills. Not to mention the fact that there's a lot of poltergeist action happening in one or two of these locations.
I just want to say, I know we have tried in the past. We have tried to bring the spirit box on here, and we've tried to do it. And then we've even tried to do some live streams, just doing the spirit box. The spirit box, it's a difficult thing in the sense of the noise that it makes. And it's a difficult thing because mine is not detuned. My SB7 is not detuned. My 11 is.
What does detuned mean?
Detunes mean that the antenna is ineffective. It's basically just a white noise. So it's not going to pick up any stations. It's just going to, and I will detune mine. And so it's frustrating to sit there and try to dissect sometimes. There's other times, depending where I'm at, I'm not going to get any radio, and it's just going to be straight white noise for a half an hour, But Ron, I'm telling you, brother, and I've said this to you before, with all that said, which does create room for a ton of skepticism, there are things that have come through on the spirit box for me through 16, 18, 20 sweeps that were full legitimate, same vocal sentences.
Yeah. Because it does a frequency change every second.
I got mine changes 9 times a second. I got mine set at 9 times a second. So you can do slower and you can do faster. But I'm just like orbs. There's always this big debate on orbs and dust and pollen and hair, and I get all that. I'll be the first one to debunk it. But man, there were things I saw when it comes to floating lights that had nothing to do with any floating particle anywhere in the air, and they had intelligence. So, I mean, I can entertain the skepticism. I can entertain 98% of it, but I'm open to the other 2 just from personal experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And Audrey, I see you posted that there, but she said the spirit box yelled out my name when I was in Minnesota. Rocky, you heard that, right, when it happened?
Yeah, I was. You weren't there for that one, Ron?
No, that was the year before.
We were at the pavilion stage. That's the first place that we always go because there's this theory or a story, which these physical actions did happen, where there's a belief that there was this creature goblin type of thing. Audrey, if you know more of what kind of entity it was. But so these pagans, they went and they all kind of came together and they did this. It wasn't a curse, but they conjured this energy up where they trapped it. upstairs at the pavilion. So most years we could go out to the pavilion and something will stomp above us super hard. Like it's letting us know it's there. Could that have been manifested over time? 100%, dude. It could have been just because we tell the story every year, because all the Rennies know the story, just because that story has implanted in so many brains that it could have manifested it to become real, or it could have been a real thing. But so we were on the stage and we were hearing some stuff, but I don't think we got a big bang that year. And we were asking questions, and clear as freaking day, Audrey was sitting right there, and it comes through, and it's Audrey. That's what it did. Swear to God, that's exactly how it sounded.
Wow.
Yeah, a little growl and all that. It was just like
I think when we were up there, it said my name once. When we were on the hill.
When we were up at the Hill House.
No, when we were on the hill at the
What hill?
in Minnesota. Remember how we walked up behind all those buildings and we're standing on the top of that little cliff overlook with Scotty and up in the grass.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. Now, that is I think they call it the grassy knoll, is what they call it.
Maybe.
Nobody's allowed up there. Nobody's allowed up there. And Ron's talking about, anybody who's watched the streams we've done over the years, that's always the first spot we go.
Yeah.
Because we always know, and that's right behind the bakery, and the bakery is the last spot we go for the ghost hunt, because that's one of the most haunted spots.
Well, we went to two places that we weren't supposed to go to. One of them was up there on that grass area. The other one was down at that
Hobbit.
Yeah, the Hobbit place down through the
They call it
where they do
Hobbit hole.
the puppets in the wagon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was
bro.
that tree was creepy. That tree had crap hanging off of it.
That was the tree from that one show where they get lost in the woods. Like they had their camera. It was like one of the first.
The Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, it was, bro. That's what we call the Blair Witch area.
It was freaky.
But where Ron's name came through was up. That's where they shoot the cannon when the Renaissance starts, and they shoot the cannon when it ends. Nobody's allowed up there, and there's been a ton of witchy stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it, but practices going on up there. And Audrey's name has come through up there. Your name has come through up there. They've said my name multiple times up there. I mean, we have gotten some of the best, but they won't let us bring the people up there just because it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy how certain areas on the grounds, and there was the little girl in that building that everybody heard except me, because I was busy doing stupid stuff, right before you guys scared me. Remember that part, Ron?
Yes, but I didn't mean to scare you. I didn't mean to scare you. I just said your name when you walked around the corner.
Yeah, and you laughed for 20 minutes over it.
I couldn't help myself. It was
You're
funny.
laughing in your sleep at home.
I've got that on film, dude. It's hilarious.
Well, I think it's hilarious now that it's over with.
And then, of course, we heard the bell, when we walked away from that one building, we heard the bell in the building. But let me just say this on that 28 Days Haunted. When you get ready to watch it, I'd love to have your feedback. If you can go out and watch it, it's on Netflix. And just send me an email, Ron at abnormalrealities.com or that'll go to both of us. Give me your thoughts on it and tell us what you think. It is TV, folks. So there is that, but most of the ghost hunting investigations that you're going to watch are on TV unless you're a part of it personally. So you got to take that into consideration, but I'll be honest with you. There was one place in I can't remember if it was the second or third episode where these people come out of a tunnel. Something has occurred that made me go, oh shit. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's got to be video of that in the very next sentence out of the guy's mouth, because you've got two guys that are sitting in a control room watching all three locations, right? The very next sentence out of his mouth was, let's roll that camera back and watch it again. And so they rolled the camera back and watched that area. Wow.
What?
Oh yeah.
What?
I'm not going to say it.
Tell me more.
I don't want to say it. I'm just go watch it. Again, it's a ghost hunting investigation series. It's not a documentary. It's not a movie. It's a
How
it's a
long
limited.
is it?
They're about 35 to 40 minutes long, and there's 6 of them. It's a limited series, yeah, and it won't be the last one they do. I mean, you can do this 28-day cycle in different places.
Wait a minute. Who said? What did somebody's stomach growl?
Just now?
I don't know, because mine might have.
Oh, are you hungry?
Dude, I think, you know what I'm thinking now that we're talking about all this stuff? Well, I almost died yesterday. I don't know. Did I tell you that yet?
You told me you had some problems, but you didn't tell me you almost died.
Well, I was close. At least I felt like I was going to, So apparently, Filippo, when you have these procedures, there's certain diets you need to go on for a while until, things just kind of stabilize,
Correct. Yeah.
I didn't know this stuff. And I didn't know you weren't supposed to eat watermelon. And I didn't know you weren't supposed to eat apples. And I didn't know you weren't supposed to eat peanuts.
Why you can't have that stuff?
Because it's hard on your digestive system.
Watermelon is hard. It's mostly water.
No, watermelon has too much air in it. And then the air gets trapped inside your intestines, which creates the bloating. Watermelon's the worst for bloating.
Yeah.
If you eat it too
makes
fast.
sense. Yeah.
So, I threw up like 6 times, cried 4 times.
This was all yesterday?
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So.
And what did I tell you? What did I tell you?
I can't even gain weight. I can't eat. Huh?
When I texted you about that, what did I say? I said, let me see if I can find it.
Ron's going back.
Please make sure to get yourself checked out again, brother. This world needs their Rocky Meatball Stucci. And I didn't get a damn thing back. I didn't get a thank you, I love you too, or nothing.
Dude, sometimes, I get a little emotional. People say things like that, And I don't know how to react to that stuff. Okay?
I'm messing with you, but thank you. Yeah. No, I mean, I hate that. You said it felt effing horrific.
Yeah, and it still growls a lot. And I think I'm starting to actually, like, we're bonding. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it. Like last night I was laying down and it was making sounds, and it's like we almost had like a conversation going, bro. It's like, I understood.
I didn't have a loud bowel, like all my intestines gurgling. I didn't have that until after my hernia surgery.
But why?
I don't know why. I mean, maybe they jiggled around some intestines or something.
I'm not dealing
Didn't put
with
it all back in correctly.
Well, they can take it out and put it back in then. Because, bro, really, it's like I'm trying to have a meeting, and all of a sudden you hear a demon trying to talk to me.
Yeah, yeah, and everybody looks at you because it's loud enough. Everybody looks at you, you go like it wasn't. I'm not hungry, because that's the first question somebody will say. Wow, are you hungry? I'm not hungry in the slightest. That's not my belly. That's my bowels.
Well, see, that's the thing too. Is like I don't know, dude, because I was taking like the stuff you drink. It's in a blue bottle. And then I'm taking Pepto, and then I'm eating Tums because I don't know what the problem is,
Oh, yeah.
And everything that was happening was in my stomach. It's like, so every time I moved, it was just like this horrible, horrible, horrible pain, bro. And it was just like, and here's the thing, bro. It's 5 weeks. And I'm kind of done with it. Like I just want to throw my water bottle right now across the room.
Yeah, I hope your loud sounds go away. Mine never did.
So do I.
And that's tough when you're a voiceover artist sitting in a freaking quiet voice booth trying to record an audio book, and all of a sudden, brrr, and I'm like,
that sucks.
Yeah, and it's not breaking wind, and it's not because you're hungry. It's just air moving around in your bowels, making this loud ass noise, and it's bad because it's diet based, right? Because it was always after I eat something specific, or I could never nail it down, but that's when it would happen.
Audrey she said it's all funny until something pops out of Rocky's gut and it runs across the floor screaming. What's funny, bro?
That's a true statement.
Besides my stomach hurting really bad, I was walking fine. I walked upstairs fine. I came in the bathroom fine. I took my jeans down fine. I probably looked really sexy doing it. I don't know what was going on. It was really weird. I kind of saw that,
Nice.
you know. And then when I saw the bump, and I looked and I made eye contact, and everything went in slow
You're
motion.
talking
for a
about
few
when you
seconds.
figured out you had the hernia?
And then it was really weird because I walked different. Like I couldn't put
Yeah.
no pressure on my right leg. All of a sudden, I had this horrible limp. I needed a cane, and I was going to die in like 3 seconds. Us dudes, we're not as tough as you think, you know?
We try to be,
When you
but
see
we're
it-
not.
No. When you see a freaking third nut coming out your belly button, it ain't funny. You know, it ain't funny. We just need something.
Oh, and I never did say what I was going to say, but the very last second of the last episode, right before they start running the credits, will freak you the hell out. So, yeah, I mean,
So I'm
seriously,
going to go right to that part.
if you watch it, you know, if you're into ghost investigation, you won't be able to not finish all 6 of them because they leave you hanging at the end of each one. But you're just send me an email. I want to know what your thoughts were. Just curious.
We should almost do just a live stream discussion.
Oh, watch it again and live stream it. That'd be fun.
Do you think they'll let us?
I don't know. I don't know, you know, I don't know. I mean, we could put it like, you know, we could do what we're doing right now and put it down at the bottom of the screen where Petey's at, just in a little screen. I don't know if they'd let us do it or not.
No.
What are you doing? What are you
Looking
doing?
at a couple
Answering
Halloween
text?
costumes.
Oh,
Yeah, Halloween costumes.
oh.
My God. We could just do a discussion. We don't even need to play it. What we could say is this. If you want to be part of the discussion, then you need to make sure you watch it before Tuesday, because Tuesday Ron's going to come on with me and we're going to talk a whole hour about it.
There you
And
go.
we're going to talk in detail about some of the things.
We
So
can
if
do
you
that.
don't want to know what happens, don't be here Tuesday. Phillips?
Yeah, because that is a that's going to be a spoiler alert day.
Are you cool with all this, bro?
I can do that, I think. Yeah.
Okay, check your schedule just in case, because we didn't talk about it. But I'm like, you know what? This
Are you-
stuff I think is kind of fun. You know,
Yeah.
I love dissecting these things, like with
Well, and
Destination.
see,
Fear.
we'll have a lot more to talk about after you watch it, because you will pick up on things that I couldn't possibly pick up on. But we'll also have your point of view as to whether you think it was worth the damn as a, you know, series, and whether or not, you know, it'll be good when they make more of them. But you have, I mean, you know Tony Sparrow, right?
Well, I mean, it's not like we cuddle or spoon, but you know, I've talked to him a couple times. I
Yeah.
mean, not so. The whole Annabella doll thing. There's another thing. I'm not the most popular person in the paranormal field when it comes to certain entities that are stuffed, that seem to have this monstrous ability to like destroy anybody's life, period, if you don't be really nice to the doll.
Yeah.
I literally think there again is that where's the balance with psychology and the manifestation of reality, or a true item truly being possessed? I'm not saying it cannot happen. I am very aware it can happen. I just think sometimes some people really push certain things, and there's nothing to substantiate it. You can go on a Craigslist right now and you can put in haunted dolls, and people are selling dolls on there that are haunted. Here's the thing, is the dolls could 100% not be haunted, but you ordered it. And when you get it, because when you ordered it, you bought something that said it was haunted.
Yep.
So no matter what, Phillips, wherever you put that doll, anything that happens now in that house is at fault of the doll, because the doll's possessed. And
Yeah.
now you
Whether
are.
it was or not, that's correct.
100%.
Yeah, that's the power of what's the word I'm thinking of? Persuasion, if you will. So, you know,
Correct.
you make the assumption based on a description that the doll is haunted. So when you get it, everything that'll occur to you from that point on your mind will tell you it's because of the damn doll.
That's right. Yeah, I love dolls. I do.
Power of
I absolutely
perception,
do.
maybe, is the word I'm looking for.
No. Power of persuasion is good.
Yeah.
Because you're persuading people to think.
Yeah.
And you are, it is a manifestation of perception, right? You are creating a false perception. There's been so many cases where people have gone into a house with a K2 meter, not even have ever gotten an EVP, never even ran a spirit box,
Yeah.
but because a K2 meter, here's the thing. I could go in my living room, Ron, and I could lay the K2 meter on the edge that divides the kitchen and the living room.
Yeah.
And if I had an older refrigerator, not a newer one, because the newer ones are a lot better insulated, but if I had an older one, every time that thing went to kick on to cool the refrigerator, you would see a spike happen real quick from the energy surge of the power going to the refrigerator that's not very well insulated. So that little burst is going to go through the air. You have investigators that get these little blinks. And then just like that, those blinks, they're talking to a ghost. The ghost has had a message. And then all of a sudden they formulate this whole story to a couple blinks.
Yeah.
And then they go to the homeowner. And then they go to the homeowner and tell the homeowner because of the blinking that they communicated with the ghost. And now all of a sudden, this house that was not haunted is now psychologically haunted because the perception of that reality was just implanted into the owner's head. Bam.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and there are a couple of times in this series where you think to yourself, okay, that was a little over the top there. That didn't need to be there. But in one of them, you'll know exactly when you see it. Like, wow, why did they even put this in here?
Dude, I slapped the shit out of my microphone. Did you see that?
I did.
What was my problem?
I did.
That's the thing that I think that's one of my greatest fascinations. And I'm even fascinated, Phillips, about my behavior throughout the years speaking, right? But when I go to like the Hill House, I am so fascinated on how there's certain parts of me now that will not, through whatever you want to call it, if it's my body and it's intuition, whether it's empathy, whether it's just psychological, whether it's a real freaking entity, and my body's picking it up. It's talking to me differently, and I'm listening to it differently, and I'm reacting to it differently, but it's also creating what I think sometimes is an unnecessary fear, which then could be dangerous in those same situations where I'm being overprotective. So being overprotective is creating more of a dangerous situation for me. And I don't know why.
Well, I mean, I can see that, of course, but I know that there were a lot more things done here and a lot more activity filmed. Again, if it was filmed for real, than what you and I picked up in both of the times we went to the Hill House.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people are not going to take the risk, especially like Tony, or Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures, because they're kind of like the pivotal people, like it or not, within the industry. They've been around for a long time, both those shows. So they're not going to risk doing something stupid like somebody did, and he's no longer with the program. All for the sake of evidence, because you could look at Ghost Ventures. There's times where they just got a couple little tiny EVPs, but they're so theatrical in what they were doing in a location. They created a TV show because that's exactly what they needed to do. But I don't know what I was saying, bro. I can't remember what my point was. What?
It just flew out your head, whatever.
Well, because I was thinking of different haunted spots, and then I was thinking Ghost Adventures and then Ghost Hunters. We're talking about how we conduct ourselves, faking evidence.
Yeah.
And that happens. And I've seen what happened to other shows, even YouTubers that got caught faking evidence. They cannot even investigate at a regular level because that word gets out so bad, and even locations get notified and they're considered frauds.
Because if you in that industry, in the paranormal investigative industry, if you cheat and you're discovered, you're out. I mean, you're black flagged, if you will, blackballed. People just they don't want cheaters in there, And look, not all investigations turn out to have something occur. I mean, what was it you said? They went to the Amityville Horror House, was it, or Conjuring House? Sorry, and they didn't get anything for 7 days.
Right.
I
nothing.
mean, that kind of stuff happens.
Dead. They said it was dense space. No, there was no doorway to hell. There was no demonic possessions. There was no knocks and dings and pictures of little creepy ghost kids, like the Warrens caught. But who knows? Who knows?
on
Maybe
that,
the Warrens brought something with them.
Yeah, on that Tony Spera site where Nesper is, it's TonySpera.com. There, all of the case studies from the Warrens, or at least their major case studies, are all there.
Yep.
So you can read what really occurred based on their investigations versus what the movies portrayed, right? The movies are always going to take some sort of license.
Dude, Roger Rabbit says, I still have flashbacks to the Ronald McDonald window sticker that was on the old McDonald's drive-thru growing up. Dude, Ronald McDonald's is a scary son of a bitch, dude. I'm just telling you.
Most clowns are to a lot of people.
Why?
They just are. I don't know.
I know a clown, and he was a pretty cool guy. And then I know people that literally would like pass out from the fear of a clown.
Yeah. People, it's freaking. Of course, movies like It didn't do anything for people that like that at all.
Yeah, that don't help.
So the show is on Netflix, folks. It's called 28 Days Haunted.
Yep.
28 Days Haunted. It's a limited series. It's got 6 30 or 40-minute episodes that follow these 3 teams around the U.S. that are that are investigating these haunted locations. It's pretty decent. I liked it. I'm curious to what Rocky thinks. And when is it? Tuesday night?
That's a lot, though, if you like it, though. I mean, people really need to take note of this because Ron has never contacted me yet about anything paranormal that he was really into. And obviously, you guys know Ron's level of skepticism. So if Ron is telling you to watch this, it means there's some legitimacy to it. And I think we should pay attention. And that's why you have until Tuesday to watch it. And then Tuesday night show is going to be a full discussion in depth. So if you didn't watch it and you don't want spoilers, don't listen. Tuesday night, Ron, if you're available, double check your schedule. Well, come on, and we're talking about it because I'm sure I'm going to have a lot. I'm taking notes.
I want you to take notes because you'll have a lot more. You'll find out a lot more about it. But some of these things these mediums did, these psychics, man, it was killing me, giving me chills three or 4 times in a couple of the episodes. Oh yeah, just stuff that would happen.
Psychics any good? What kind of psychics? What kind of psychics?
They were mediums. One of them was a sensitive, is what they're called. It's pretty good, dude. It really is. It really is. So go check it out. 28 Days Haunted on Netflix. And by the way, go visit insanecustomtumblers.com or romikadesigns.com. That's where you can find the products that Rocky and I do on a daily basis. And yeah, so there. Rocky, take us home, baby.
Good. Hey, wow. I don't hear no music, Ron. Hey,
it's coming.
Everybody be safe for Halloween. We wish each and every one of you a blessed Halloween. We appreciate you guys. We love you.
Monday night, be safe out there. Yeah.
Some of you people may say this is just a freaking hat and freaking whatever, but